And we're live. Who all's here so far? We've got Lars here, the one-eyed cat, Auto Salvage Outlaws. You guys didn't know, he is still upright and kicking. He has resurfaced recently with a Fox Body Mustang. Colleen Tebow, Twisted Mopar Dennis. Thumper is here. An hour ago, I opened my front door and was face-to-face with a young black bear. Fun times. I didn't try to pet the dog. About an hour or two ago, I looked out my kitchen window while I was making dinner, and there was a fox standing right on my patio. And I couldn't get, I got a little bit of video of it running across the neighbor's fence. It's a shame because I could have gotten a really good picture if I'd just taken one through the window. I wasn't expecting to see a fox on the patio. So anyway, that would have been a great short. Twisted Dennis says prayers for everyone in Missouri during this massive flooding occurring. Yeah, flooding's no fun. If it floods where I am, the whole world is gone. I've pinned a link at the top to Cope Racing Transmissions for a few reasons. While they're closed, I'm trying to do my best to attempt to keep pace with his website on sales. It's just fun. So I've pinned the link right there. So if any of you have been thinking about getting, a rebuild kit, a valve body, whatever, now's a good time. Just saying. Indecisive Garage says it's Friday and I didn't get anything done on the drag truck. Time's getting short. Howdy, everybody. Time is getting short. It's 75 hours. It's 75 days, 3 hours, 55 minutes. Yeah. Wrong English says good evening, folks. Turbo Tom says hi all from Ohio. Howdy, Turbo Tom. One-eyed cat said that number will read 76 here in a minute. Well, yeah, I could tell. He was waiting for me to come on here. Mohawk says hello, everyone. 11 more weeks. Whoa, you put it like that, that sounds scary. Oh, my. Dan, the IT guy, hello. He's got a community post. It's pretty neat. Some guy has a Turismo, a little front-wheel drive Mitsubishi Chrysler product, and looks like somebody's put a 318 in it, or some kind of small block. Thought it was pretty cool. It has exhaust manifolds on it, so I mean it is V8, but it doesn't have headers. It's interesting though. It looks like it's got a Holley 4-barrel. I'd like to look at that car up close and see how they did it. Manic Mechanic says hello, everyone. Howdy, sir. Pure Pontiac Garage is here. Gen X Empty Nester says, hi, everyone. We survived the tornado warning from last night, prepping for another storm tonight. You should already be prepped for storms if you live in storm country. Bruce Colchin got his shirt. Good deal, man. Good deal. Jay's Junkers says, good evening, everybody. Jay's Junkers is he's really close to halfway in the No Name 500. I believe he's at 241. He is making it. He's like JB and Don. He's going to grind it out one sub at a time, but he's going to get there. Auto Salvage, can't count him out. Just takes time to regroup. Good attitude, man. Mexican Spec says hello. Howdy. Dave Stovall Farms and Garage says working late, but have a good story. Recently, Cole County Drag Strip was destroyed by a tornado. NHRA and Indy Raceway Park donated a tower they used in the past. YouTube and Facebook. Wow, that sounds pretty neat. Speaking of these sanctioning bodies, have you guys been looking at the news coming out of AHRA? Oh, my. Canceled events, laying people off. The rumors are really getting loud about, is this a play for the real estate for data centers? And if I had to guess, I think that's more likely than not. I hope I'm wrong, but we'll see. I can't imagine he got wealthy chasing stuff like this. Auto Salvage says the trans kit is cheap. Good deal, great parts. Well, I mean, a seal kit's not very expensive. Neither is doing clutches. a stock rebuild you can do, it's not that bad. Now, if you want a lot of billet and you want a lot of improvements and modifications, brake and all that, we can do it. And I'll only do this a couple times during the live, but I'll go ahead and throw it out there early for those of you who are in here now. Just as a No Name Nationals fundraiser, 500 labor to the No Name Nationals, just a general fund. And you get part of racing transmission. You call that order to me by Sunday. And your core or mine at core price, if I have one, will build your transmission. And that is, I think, a really good deal. Colleen says Jay is at 242. Cool. Almost halfway. But it takes a lot longer to get the first half of your subs than the last half. So he's going to get there. He's going to get there. He's made of the right stuff. Dan says a 383. I was thinking that was a 318 in that car. He put a 383. Oh, no wonder he has manifolds. You never get the headers to clear. I couldn't remember. It's a good look. It looks good in there, though. I remember seeing it. Yeah, so I think so. Not giving up. There's a lot to be said for not giving up. Okay. It's got a 4.15 crank, 15 to 1 compressor. And he's running exhaust manifolds, and it looks like about a 750 Holley double pumper. That seems pretty wild, actually. We even talking about the same car. Stovall's at 137 subs. There's still plenty of time. ASO says say no to data centers. Yeah, the more I read about those things, they really sprawl. They really take a lot of resources. Andrew Nelson says, good evening from Team Nivlac 57. Hello, Nelson family. $500 is cheap for rebuilt trans. Yeah, 500, just 500 labor for No Name Nationals, just as a fundraiser. But you still got to pay for parts. You still got to have a core. Or if we can work out sourcing a core. Either way. Yeah, if you want to know who all is registered for the No Name 500, you can find them on the main page of my channel. They're listed there in order. The one-eyed cat says, stupid cat shorts are good for subs. 1,200 views on one today, worth 4 subs. Wow. TM50 Dominator on it. Yeah, wow. Cool. That's a cool car. I'd love to see that thing. Jay's Joker says, this is the first time this year we're getting triple digits. Well, I mean, it's the first time this year. A lot of people get triple digits in July. How many years do you guys get triple digits ever in North Dakota? Exactly. He's pretty far north. Yeah, headers and flow mesh. Can't be looking at the same car. I remember looking at that picture. Cope is here. Howdy. I might be fighting a losing battle, but I'm going to play all 4 quarters of this thing. I've got the link pinned at the top, coperacingtrans.com, and if you want to call your orders in through Sunday. Yeah, it's one of those things. It's out there through Sunday. But see, Don, I think what would be cool is build that other transmission, do a manual valve body in it. And, we could turn that other one up so that when you outgrow the one that's in it now. Oh, yeah, 35. But I'll tell you what, I got a lot in the hopper. Some of them need a little bit to get the order to go. Some of them want to know about the stock. I got a whole lot of them that are going to go as soon as, you give them a call or check stock or something, they're going to go. Had to move the steering to the front and use a reversed steering rack. Yeah. People do that a lot with the A-body. They move they swap ball joints side to side so that it moves the everything for your tie rods forward, and they put a rack in that way. A lot of people do that. You should do a feature on that car, Dan, the IT guy. Do a feature on it, how all the work was done and everything. Mr. Foot is here. Hello, sir. Mr. Foot, what's the latest on your Belvedere there? Cope says no $4,000 sales for a 13-second car. No, I mean, if that's what somebody wanted, but I tell them they don't need that. I mean, I don't know. I might resemble that remark. ASO's got all the parts to fix my Mustang. Just got to wait on its cooler and have some help pulling them. Okay. What year parts did you get? Are you going to be updating the look of it? Yeah. It's kind of out of circulation, right? I haven't seen it in a while. Well, my race car was out of circulation for about 20 years, and I found it. An AHRA whole front clip and got tail lights. So you're getting away from the vertical tail lights, going to the horizontals. Mr. Rodder's Neighborhood. I can't find 204R parts on Cope's site. You haven't heard the best one yet. I'll tell you that one in the second hour. Cope doesn't know that one yet. There's a lot of cool stuff on that site, though. ASO is going to be updating the sheet metal and changing the intake and carburetor to Holley Strat intake. Don't know what that is. Dallas needs a 518 or 46 RH. Manual valve body, trans brake. Actually, I think for your Buick, an A500 would be perfect. Be perfect for that car. I wish there were more resources to run Chrysler transmissions behind Ford and GM engines. Gonna add a cam and lifters. You're going all into that one now, huh? Holly Street intake. Okay. Shane can design adapter. Well, I know he can, but that's not like, That's not like ordering a cam grind. That's a lot of work. I mean, I got friends who design it too. I got friends who are engineers, do it for a living, and CAD guys and all. I mean, we could do it. It's just so much work. It's so much work. It's not necessarily worth it for me, but it'd be neat if those things were out there to allow people to run some of these better Mopar transmissions. I mean, if there was a way to put an A500 behind like a Chevy small block, a good way to do that, I mean, the $700 4, we'd never hear that thing again. That would be like the automatic way to fix that forever. Dallas says GM does not embrace the BOP bell housing pattern for us BOP people. Maybe Mopar folks should. I'd love a 904. 904 would be great in your car. I'd love to build a 904 for that Buick. Be awesome. Well, what I'd do to let you try it, I'd let you put my 904 in it. Biggest problem that would be you wouldn't want me to take it back. I can build you one like that. Bigfoot Mark's got a 46 RE in my garage, hoping this winter we'll be able to replace the 727. Sounds like a worthy deal there. Cope, if you're listening, he's got a 63 Belvedere, and you put a 46 RE in that thing. I'm sitting there thinking, what does that involve with that transmission cross member? Doesn't that have the cross member? It's got the engine move forward a little bit. I just wasn't sure. That'd be like a power. Well, no, it's 3 or 4 if you do A500. Slant Daily Garage. What's up, suckers? Hello, Professor P. Dizzy says, hey, folks, you too, JC. Crossmember's not a problem. I know it's not a problem. I just wondered how it fit in those cars. He says, but you're not going to be able to use the push buttons. Right. I wouldn't go that far, but I fielded the calls the best I could, and things went just fine. You'll hear my favorite of those calls in the second half. ASO asked, didn't the 727 come behind both big and small blocks? Yes, it did. And there were some 727s that came behind slant 6s. Very rare. Bigfoot Mark says, we moved the engine back 3 inches and already made a custom transmission car. Okay. I kind of figured in your car of what you're doing, you've already done that. Dallas says, sorry, I missed quite a few people making dinner, so just listening and chatting in between battering some fish. I made a big pan of pasta this evening, and it is delicious. So good. So good. And I think that's by accident. I changed a little bit the way I cooked everything with the peppers. Oh, it was so good. I'm going to do it that way more often. I don't make big changes to it because I already really like it. So the changes are small now. But that recipe is getting really, really seasoned. I've made it too many times. Yeah. Kim says, I've owned a truck with a slant 6 and 727. Yeah, there's not a lot of them, but they did do that combination. Peppers can't be bad? No. No, I actually changed. I usually shop at Kroger, and today I said, you know what? The last couple of times I've been to Kroger, they're out of green peppers. They don't have their Diet Dr. Pepper on sale. I said, I'm going to try Food Line, and I've had pretty good experiences. Although this last time their sales were kind of mediocre. They had a good sale on pasta sauce, though. So I did that. I did do that, but anyway, wasn't bad. Although Food Line doesn't have any self-checks, you've got to go through the full-service checkout thing, which is okay. I just generally prefer to do it myself. I'm not into people waiting on me, really. ASO says eat more chicken. I had chicken twice this week. It was delicious. Mexican Spec, I can't eat any more than I already do. Peppers are good for you. Yeah. Big Mike of the Hoopty Barn. And shout out to Tony. Tony's moving around in here tonight. Good to see you, man. Tony makes our high quality No Name Nationals apparel. Does a beautiful job. Hey Tony, if you're milling around listening, Colleen said she sent you an email. Friendly reminder. Dizzy says getting the Vagrant back Tuesday with Edelbrock push rods. Thanks to Shane and Alex. Yes, our concierge, Mr. Alex So. He takes care of the No Name Nationals crowd there at Edelbrock. And I've heard nothing but good about the experience people have ordering with Mr. Alex So. So big thanks to Professor P for making that happen. Big thanks to Alex So for taking care of our community. They do a great job. That is a worthy discount and perk for this community. Car Steve says, making my way. I'm up to 422 subs. You're close. Keep hammering. Mr. Rotter says Publix fried chicken is great. We don't have Publix around here, but my aunt, I went up there. She and her husband made chicken. They grilled it and everything. Green beans, mashed potatoes, corn on the cob, rolls. It was delicious. And then I bring home the leftovers because, man, I'm like the Indian and buffalo thing. Like nothing goes to waste with me. I make a pan of pasta. In fact, I can do this without knocking my own internet out. I made this pan of pasta a couple hours ago. And I set it in the microwave just to let it cool. That's just how I do it. I just set it right in there to let it cool. And I cut it into 10 squares. And then I put all the squares in the refrigerator and I take one out for a meal. I eat on that all week. That's how I do it. Good system. Because Cop Car Steve is not registered. I don't know if Cop Car Steve will make it this year, but you know what? We're glad he's here. Slant Daily says, Cope, I hope you're having a great vacation. All the reports I've gotten, he's having a blast. And if you've not seen it, there's a short on his channel of the Blues Brothers Bridge up there in Chicago, opening and closing, that drawbridge. He's got it on his channel. It's actually really cool. John going to gain 10 pounds. No. Big Mike, we had some aired fried yard bird today. Okay. If you register at 500 no time, that effect tends to happen. People do their part. Yeah, that's my systems. I'll take that thing, cut it up into 10 squares, and eat one at a time. If I didn't do that, I could polish off half that pan like that because it's delicious. Exactly. I was thinking Cop Car Steve was going to be at a wedding, but we'll see what happens. In fact, I don't know. I don't know how that works out, but I know one thing. He's welcome if he can make it and wants to come down. We'd love to have him. We need Canadian representation. Most years we have somebody from Canada. Cultured Redneck Garage Kyle says, good evening, John and friends. I'm actually able to join in for a few minutes this evening. Fridays are usually busy. We're glad you made it. And I saw that that RV link you sent me. I want to check that out in detail. Mohawk's wife is here. Hello, how you doing? Currently cooking pork egg rolls, so I'm going offline, but Mohawk has you on the TV so I can listen. Cool. Mexican Spec, who gets married on the weekend of the NNN, the nerve? We have some people whose anniversaries line up pretty close with that, actually. Several. Auto Salvage, bring the wedding to the No Name Nationals. So we can talk about it. Yes, we can. Left Turn Dodge says, hello, YouTube world. Howdy. Mexican Spec said that was before the No Name Nationals existed. Well, this is true. This is true. SSR Performance says, what's up? Howdy, Big James. How's it going, sir? AKA Ryan. But, you know, in this community, you know how it works. You have a channel name, you have a handle, an ID, and those things tend to stick. Dizzy said, Mohawk, you got a good woman there, buddy. ASO says 5 years and going strong, the No Name Nationals. Yeah, I would agree with that. We have, and I won't, you know, get into that topic, but this was so funny. So those of you who remember our biggest detractor the first year, the one who got a C and D, he was claiming that we have 50 cars. And he tried to make his own competing event that got canceled. I'm like, 50 cars, really? That's half what we had. And that's 50 fewer than what we had and 50 more than what you had at your competing event. I didn't hear back from him. It's funny how sometimes those people resurface, but not for the most part. For the most part, they just go away. I mean, the first year, for those of you who remember, we had a fair number of detractors and jealous people, just a whole bunch of mess people, and none of them showed up. None of them are still around. They've all just kind of vanished, and it's so much better. We had a lot of that the first year, and then it died off a lot for the second year, and it was just gone by the third year. We haven't had any of that since, and I am so glad for that. Big Mike says, maybe someone can help me out with an automotive issue. Well, this is a really good place to ask. We got a lot of smart people in here. Mean Street Mopar, howdy. Well, how's it looking, sir? How's that 318 looking for 75 days, 3.5 hours away? Mexican Spec, hopefully those people found their own lives to live. I won't even touch that. Troll seating is still available. Yes, it is. Kerosene Cucumber says, howdy, people. Hello, sir. Glad you could make it. Big Mike's question. This is a pop-up for anyone in here. 2016 Chrysler 3.6 with 258,000 miles. Sounds like it's out of time. Tries to keep starting after letting go of the key. Man, where's Turbo Tom? That sounds right up his alley. Dizzy says, got a Mopar race team hat signed by Rusty Wallace and several other drivers he gave me in the mid-90s. Cool. Yeah, Tony. Yeah, Tony's here. He says probably cam phasers. Comment on those. Yep, I forgot about that. That's true. This is why we got guys that do this daily and for a living in here. Yeah, Tony's got a good point. Could very well be cam phasers. Yet, one of the many reasons I'm so glad I do not own a vehicle with cam phasers. It was a solution to a problem nobody asked for or had or anything. Yep, Turbo Tom concurs, needs cam phasers and oil control valves. Yep, now that you say that, that makes all the sense in the world. I've done a very little bit of work on cam phaser stuff, and it's just every time I see them, I'm like, man, why did they do this? A friend of mine's had it's a 2004 Ford truck with cam phasers that have been making racket for more than 10 years. Doesn't seem to hurt anything, but they sure make a lot of racket. I have no idea what to do with that. You can look them up in the book. You'll see what they are, Mike. Needs a Hemi small block. Could be. Mexican Spec. I don't know what a cam phaser is. Is that a Star Trek thing? Yes, sorta. You can look them up. Yeah, Danny Boyd says a cam gear that can advance the cam. Yeah, that's a great description, actually, Danny Boyd. It's like the mechanical advance in a distributor, sort of. Yep, that's a very good description. Not a fun job. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. Looks like I've got a new rabbit hole. Yes, you do. Speaking of rabbits, I have never seen so many rabbits as we have this year. Most I've ever seen. I mean, I can't walk Jethro without seeing a dozen rabbits walking this neighborhood. Do you guys see a surplus of rabbits in 2026? Phasers are a pain. Yes, they are. Main Street Mopar. I'm dropping off the rotating assembly next week and picking up the cylinder heads finally. His mom's in the hospital for 2 weeks, and that didn't help. Oh, goodness. But she's okay now. Well, good deal. Take care of your mom. You only get one of those. Danny Boyd, doesn't Jethro make examples out of rabbits? Goodness, no. He might bark at them and run them off, but he doesn't even chase them. No, not at all. Although, there was a fox on the patio tonight. Now, if he'd seen that, oh my gosh. I predict that would have been a wild reaction, but he didn't see it. Dallas says, cam phaser is the first step to a disposable mobility blob. I'll never own another car with them. Yeah, I have no interest in it. I don't have any interest in any of that stuff. I don't want a screen in the dash. I don't want cam phasers. Don't want any of that. Today, I'm just so happy and content driving that Dodge van. It has everything I need, nothing I don't. Oh, it just starts and runs so good, and power steering and power brakes, and it runs good and smooth and just has everything I need. I don't need any of that stuff. I don't want any of that stuff. Colleen says, I haven't seen a rabbit in years, not even roadkill. You must have more stuff down there eating them because they're all over this neighborhood. Andrew Nelson, the big charity race we help support is July 19th at Maple Grove. So that's not this weekend, but next. If you're in the neighborhood, please join us. 100% of the proceeds go to the Ronald McDonald House in Philadelphia. That sounds really cool and worthy. So July 19th at Maple Grove. That's a Sunday. You can make it. Proceeds go to the Ronald McDonald House. That sounds cool. Danny Boyd said Jethro would probably eat that fox's dinner. I'm here to tell you, he wouldn't be the least bit afraid of that fox. Big Mike's got a plethora of rabbits. Yeah, for real. Bruce says, got stuck in Kentucky on my way to Missouri. Wheel bearing. I had a wheel bearing go bad after I got to Missouri last year. We fixed it. Since I'm a non-motorhead, should you have the one on the other side checked? No sound from the wheel. You certainly have it checked. No reason not to. But what happens, the wear is like this. It wears a little, wears a little, wears a little, wears a little, and then all of a sudden, once you wear through the hardened part, the wear takes off. So they don't wear at a linear rate at all. You can do one on one side, but I'm the kind of guy that will probably just do them both, get them done, have it over with. I mean, if it went a bunch of years, get them both done, then you never have to revisit it. What kind of vehicle is that on, Bruce? Which vehicle? Is that on the Subaru? Give me the simple timing chain. Yeah, built is okay. I like the chain better. Really, I do. Ron says he has noticed the bunny population increasing, but the squirrel population diminishing. Colleen says South Carolina's been invaded by armadillos. Maybe that has something to do with it. It could. It very well could. Hey, Bad Tree Blake is here. Hello, sir. Glad you could make it. Not at 500 a pop. Yeah, so you have cartridge wheel bearings in that Subaru. And so Mazda 3, okay, yeah. So it's a cartridge bearing. It's in the front. You got to pull the axle and everything to change it. So I find a tremendous savings on those bearings at Rock Auto, but you still have to know how to put them in, and you still need a press. Although I've done them without a press, I've actually done them with a bench vise, taken the whole spindle, the whole hub off, and done it in a bench vise. It's not easy, but you can. Danny IT guy says, we're in Western Kentucky off Kentucky 13. So are you stranded there, Bruce? Buff says, more ticks here than rabbits. Yeah, but I'll tell you, auto salvage, if you're going to do one, best do both. Yeah, that's true. But boy, those are expensive on a car like that. So no, I would say just do the one. Don't worry about it. Do the one. But, as part of a good checkup on your car, you should check them. And the way you check them is you're just checking them like you would a tie rod or ball joint, moving, feeling for play at the tire. But then if you can hold the brake pedal and it goes away, that's your bearing. But I wouldn't stress the other one having any imminent failure. I'd replace the one that's bad and go on about your way. Dizzy likes to boil rabbits, make gravy. Ugh. Yeah, Turbo Tom says if it ain't broke, don't fix it, Tom says. So I agree with that. Bruce says he sees the same thing with squirrels and rabbits. Yeah. I've never seen so many rabbits I've seen this year. Auto Salvage, we're getting invaded by black bears. If you haven't seen it, I got a short on my channel of a black bear, probably within a couple 100 feet of my backyard on the street up there, walking across. It wasn't a real big one. It was a medium-sized bear. Jethro was, if I hadn't been holding that leash, he'd have flown after that bear. Stranded for 2 hours. Well, it could be a lot worse. It's not too bad. It's decent weather. And being a bearing, you would still have, your air conditioning and creature comforts and all. So it's not too bad, as long as you're not stuck in a really bad spot. Bruce said, someone, I don't know who, said it was the tranny, sent me to a tranny place. They said it was the wheelbarrow. Well, I can see that because you were having a noise when you're moving it around in gear. That makes sense. But whomever told you that, a tow truck driver or something, is showing why he drives a tow truck and is not a mechanic. But whatever, you weren't going to be going any farther. You got one making that kind of noise. I'll drive them till they're dangerous to get them back to where they need to be. I had one in the van. I've had two in the van just come completely apart. But I've got a new spindle now as soon as I get that on there. And I'll definitely do that before I bring it to Sykeston. I'm keeping a close eye on the wheel bearing on it now, but I'm going to change the spindle and bearing before I come to Sykeston. Yeah. Where's Cousin Eddie? He usually eats these things. Yeah. Danny Boy says the ants are out of hand this year. Yeah, we sure have a lot of ants. That we do. Bad Tree Blake says government-issued drone rabbits probably. Ask Austin and his birds. Turbo Tom says too many eagles here, not many rabbits. We have a few eagles here. Yes, we do. Old McDonald said we had a 400-pound bear and its cub in our driveway before our new house was built. Cool. Mechanic, 5-star reviews. That's crazy. That's really crazy. That is really crazy. Because the wheel bearing is out there at the wheel. I mean, that's pretty crazy. And the wheel bearing is not that hard to check. Bruce says no more 800-mile trips for at least 6 months, so I'll take my chances. Big Mike said, that reminds me, I need to repack my wheel bearings on my trailer. I haven't done it for a couple of years. I'm going to tell you that the biggest problem we have at No Name Nationals are trailer problems. Oh my gosh. Lots of them. Every year we see a lot of broken trailers. Auto Salvage says it doesn't take much for a Mustang Fox body to run low numbers. Well, come show us. We'll get your entrance music playing. Escape the Poison Witch. That's your song, isn't it? Tony's Hot Rod Garage says I won't be having any trailer troubles. Well, he wouldn't anyway because he's a conscientious guy. He's got them all together. Thumper said I had to rescue an expedition and discovered the valve stem of my trailer tires cut. Yeah. I'm going to fix that first thing tomorrow. Yeah, that's not too bad. Valve stem's not too bad. They make the tool where you can, like a forcing cone, to force that in the wrong way through the rim. I don't own one of those. I don't really need it. I just break the bead and snap a new one in and call it good. Left Turn Dodge says my trailer has around 2,000 miles on it. It better be okay. Yeah, I would agree with that. Thumper says I'll just break the bead and stick a new one in. I keep valve stems in bulk. Yeah, same here. Same thing. Danny boy, I saw that steering wheel like a crackhead on a catalytic converter. I bet. Dean said, I've heard Yogi Bear only eats Ranger lunches. Yeah, that bear was pretty cool. So I've seen a fox and a bear here this season. Of course, deer all the time, rabbits all the time, squirrels and all that all the time. Wrong English headed out tonight, but early because his 4 a.m. alarm is calling me already. Good deal, sir. Rest up for a long day tomorrow. Auto Salvage, so many people have done that before you. I'm sure that math is already out there. 3 here this year so far. What is that? Bears or foxes? It is Ron tapping out early tonight, not Dawn, the other one. Bears, yeah, 3 bears. Andrew Nelson says we typically tow 15 to 25,000 miles per year. We have whole drawers set up with spare trailer parts. Yeah. Country Boy rides again. Howdy. Glad you could join us. And we've had rain all week. We've been trying to dodge the rain. Jethro and I did out walking. Old McDonald, did John ever mention what his least favorite song was? No, why would I mention it? One of these years, we might see it floating through the chat. We may or may not. Auto Salvage Outlaw wants to change the lugs to 5 lugs. Uses weld wheels. I guess now it's wrecked. It's just a green light on that one, huh? Racer Ray had a whole weekend of wrenching plan, got derailed by stitches. Yep. Levi says he's currently eating the dinner of champions, hot dogs, as in Joey Chestnut. Okay, Tony's Hot Rod Garage says, in an effort to raise fuel money for this year's 3,800-mile No Name Nationals trip, Tony's Hot Rod Garage shirts are on sale, $15 a piece. Orders in excess of $99, ship free. So there you go. Tony, put up the link right there. Put up the link, sir. GunslingerGraphics.com. You guys have the link in the chat. Will be highlighted. This link right here. But you guys see it right there. That is a good deal. That's a killer deal. And his stuff is such good quality. So really good quality shirts, Gunslinger Graphics he does. $15 a piece. Orders in excess of $99, ship free. How cool is that? Bruce says, I'm out of here, tired from sanding a tabletop for 2 hours. That's understandable, sir. Left Turn Dollar just hoping he can get his laundry room finished this weekend so I can get going on the car and engine for No Name Nationals. Understood. There's 75 days, 3 hours, 8 minutes. Quality's top notch. Yeah, Tony's stuff is really good. Tony's got lots of good designs over there. Check him out, Gunslinger Graphics. The link is there. Unfortunately, I can't pin through StreamYard, and I can't have YouTube open, so I don't have it pinned. Tony says at the current diesel prices, he's going to be around $1,900 in fuel alone. That's because he's coming from the other end of the country. Yes, I did see your No Name National shirt. ASO has worn one out, as have I. Oh, McDonald, how many transmissions do you have to build so far for taking orders? I don't have to build any. I'm just running the phones for Cope. But I have put out there for anybody in this community who wants it at the highly discounted rate of $500 labor, just purely to go in the No Name Nationals General Fund. I will build a 3-speed Chrysler automatic. Your core, and you get the CRT parts. You got to put that order in by July 13th. That's this Sunday. Because after this Sunday, that phone line rolls over, back over to the shop at Cope Racing Transmissions. Right now, it comes to me. Not a T5. No. Nope. Sorry. This is not the sale for everyone. I've had people ask, can I do a 350? No. I'm just, because of this, I want to do something just simple that I want to do. It's a really good deal. So it's going to be a Chrysler 3-speed automatic. That will be a 904, 998, 999, 727. I would do like a 30RH, 32RH. I'd consider doing that. Or an A488. I've never done one, but I would try that. I would do it. If you don't know what an A488 is, don't worry about it. You don't need to. But if you know what that is, Bigfoot Mark asked Tony, can you get any brand t-shirt to print on? Tony says, I can get most. I buy from the 2 largest wholesalers in the world. Tony does excellent stuff, excellent quality. I can totally vouch for it. I've never gotten anything from him that I was ever the least bit disappointed in the quality. It's always excellent. Excellent. He does our shirts. He does our hats, the hoodies. So in the winter, you see me wearing the No Name Nationals hoodies. That's where they come from. Really good quality work. And Gunslinger Graphics, they do both, print. They do embroidery too, in-house. Really good stuff. 833, no, that's a 4-speed. Levi said, when is my trip to Arizona? I need a vacation. Tony has the best shirts. He has excellent shirts. He really does. He has his own designs over there, too. Check him out. He is a good friend of the community, and he runs a great business, too. And I love being able to work with people like that. I mean, I love being able to work with the related businesses within our community. It's great. And Tony's certainly one of them. Levi Cage. Levi does good work. I was really digging looking at that cage he put in Dallas's car, that roll bar he put in the Buick. Good stuff, man. Really good work. Charles got my paint yesterday. Going to be black on top and bottom of the car, copper color with burned orange pinstripes. You got paint for it? You've already got paint. You don't have your parts yet. You have your paint. Old McDonald said Utah is the least drunk state in the U.S. This would be true. Utah does have more teetotalers because of the Mormon population. Tony says eventually we'll be lengthening the frame back to stock on a back half 52 Chevy. Probably next year. That sounds like it's right up Levi's alley. Man, I can't remember when the last time I was in Arizona was. It would have been in 2018. I came back through Phoenix, coming back from a 1911 operators course. That's been a while. Blue Brick Garage, 76 days left and still waiting to get Anna's No Name Nationals engine out of the machine shop purgatory. Been there since March 11th. Good luck. Perfection is the enemy of finished. Yes. Huh. Upper says Arizona is one of the few states I haven't been to yet. Big Mike says, I remember when I was last in Arizona. Oh, I bet. He says it's miserable because of the heat there. Yeah, it's a dry heat, but it is still really hot. Arizona's okay. I haven't done much there, but it's okay. Well, my experiences there have been fine. Ed's Machine. We mentioned Machine Shop Purgatory. And then Ed appears. You see that up here, Ed? Did you catch that? There it is. 76 days left and still waiting to get Anna's No Name Nationals engine out of Machine Shop Purgatory. Been there since March 11th. I don't know where he has it, though. He's not in your area. Anyway, I just thought that was a wild coincidence. Yeah, it's not me. No, I know. he just appeared. We're talking about machine shops. Blue Grit Garage is giving up on his machine shop engine. It's going to have me build an engine in it. Buff Del Campo loves Arizona summers. Yeah, Buff's qualified. He lived out there. Levi enjoy his time there. Yeah, I've liked it when I've been there. Old McDonald said Mexico 3 times, California once. Let's just say Mexico 4 times. Cop Car Steve says he's got to fly. Take care. Be safe. Hopefully we'll see you next week. Buff came back from Yuma, Arizona. Yeah, exactly, Colleen. We talk machine shops and Ed shows up just like that. Just a coincidence. Auto Salvage is ready to move north. Too hot here. Yikes. Bite your tongue, man. Mohawk says, I died once in Arizona, but I still like the state. Sounds reasonable. Bigfoot Marks has worked in Yuma, Arizona as a travel nurse. I always take my empty bottle and I set it right there so it's in my way so that when I leave, I remember to throw it away. So one time I got to where I'd have 3 or 4 bottles, like, oh, I can't stand that. I can't stand that. So I set the bottle right there so I have to remember to get it on the way out. I'll trip over it if not. Left turn Dodge says, I'm north and it's still too hot. I like it hot. I'm good with the heat. Blue Grit says, I might have to slap something together with a bunch of scrap parts, but Anna wants to drive it down to the No Name Nationals. Understandable. Tony says, my son lives in Yuma. Yep. Much of Arizona, but I've been a few places. Auto Salvage says, told wife I buy me motor. She said I get killed with it. Who? Big Mike says, we're going to another hot state next week, going to Texas for a granddaughter's birthday party. Neat. Mostly Mopar, hello. Thanks for joining us. He says, Arizona is one state I haven't visited, but he's driven from Georgia to New Mexico several times. The lack of humidity is awesome. Yeah, it does make a difference. It's very humid here. Most humid place I've ever been. I mean, just my experience. Man, down there in central and western Tennessee, it gets really humid. Places I've been down in there. Yeah. Mohawk said I was stationed at the Yuma Proving Grounds from 82 to 85. Old McDonald said it's so hot the geese are flying north already. Left turn Dodge flew over part of Arizona once. It looked nice. I don't know. I can't tell a whole lot from the air, but I always enjoy when I've flown into Vegas at night. I always want to get a flight that lands at night just because I love looking at that lit up city with all the lights when you come land in at McCarran there. It's the best. I love it. Dizzy says the old Yuma State Penitentiary is a very neat place to visit. So, Ed, where's your duster in progress? I've seen some duster videos, spraying primer, and looks like the primer's on it. Looks like we got a lot of primer on it. We still got to have a tail light panel and floors. Main Street Mopar, I decided to go with an aluminum flywheel instead of a steel flywheel. Tanner seems to like his aluminum flywheel, so I decided to give one a try. Okay. Those stick shift racers back in the day would always run the heavy 50-pound flywheels on those things because they wanted all that stored energy when they dumped the clutch. And you would hear them bring the throttle way up, and then the engine would take forever to come back down just because of all that stored energy. Pretty wild. It doesn't know. Well, the last video I saw, it was getting primer. It'll be exciting to see the duster come together. Mohawk says, a big thanks to all our friends who have or are still serving. Yes, indeed. Mr. Rodder's Neighborhood Dallas says, I've got a billet 50-pound flywheel on my Buick. It's the only one they make. Yeah, Dallas's car is going to be a wild lever with that heavy flywheel. Ed says the car's supposed to be done this month. Okay. With an aluminum flywheel, you better have a good shifter. I could see that. Kevin's Mopar's got a sweet truck. He does. He does. He actually has more than one sweet truck. He's got a couple cool trucks there. Hey, we've got a knock at the door. False alarm. And a good start doesn't grind on the flywheel. Yeah, but don't those aluminum flywheels usually have a steel ring gear and a steel friction surface? I mean, you're not actually starting against the aluminum, and you're certainly not putting the clutch on the aluminum. I've never had one. Dizzy says the same years he was up on Point Loma Sub Base Communications Center and Shore Patrol. During those same years, my dad's Jeep was on Shore Patrol. But Dad wasn't. He was out of the service by then. Mopar got Hurst shifter. Hopefully that'll be good enough. I've had good luck with Hurst shifters over the years. I hear again. Let's see who's there. Uh-oh. Oh, we need our fail horn. All right, third time going to be the charm.
Mm-hmm.
Cope is here.
Did I make it?
Hey, you made it. Thanks for joining us.
It's been so long since I've done this live thing. I actually had to use the CRT phone because my regular cell phone wouldn't accept it. I wouldn't. It's kept on saying that my camera wasn't on. So
it kicked you out twice, but we got you now.
What's that?
Twice it tried to push you on and it cut out, but we got you now.
Yeah.
So welcome.
Thank you, John. Thank you
for
having me.
You all put that in. Put that in to be tell them about that.
So I checked the website before I came on, and we were at 35.
I congratulate the website. It wins.
Yeah, but the you do what the website can't. You physically, there's people that physically like to talk to people. And so talking to a human on the other line is what the website can't do. So, boy, am I too close to the camera? How's that?
They'll have to tell you because I'm delayed on the visual, so I can hear you fine, but I'm delayed on see you. They can see you fine.
Okay. Oh, sorry. I just want to turn up my mic a little bit.
Dakota's timeout. Howdy. Danny Boyd says I can't do it either. He's a call in his order type person. Blue Grit Garage likes his aluminum flywheels for autocross. Cool. So, you want to tell folks what you've been up to this week?
A lot of nothing.
You've done all kinds of cool things.
Well, I started off last weekend at the lake. I got a small little place in Indiana that I come up to. So I came up here for a few days. Then I went back home to spend some time with the girls. And then I took two of my friends from Calumet City I went to high school with. We went to the 95th Street Bridge to have lunch. And the first time in my life, I got to see that bridge go up. We were
Really?
sitting
You've
there.
never seen it up before?
I've seen the one by my dad's shop, which is the next bridge down, the 106th Street Bridge. But the Blues Brothers Bridge, that was a first.
Wow, I didn't know that.
So it made my vacation. It really did. So I got a short up there that shows the bridge going up and down. And
if one of our mods can put that in the chat, that'd be cool. That was really fun to watch.
Yeah, it was. There's, if you're a Blues Brothers fan or a movie buff, it's kind of neat to go to those places that are, were filmed. You had mentioned to me if I ever gone to any of the Ferris Bueller ones, and I have in passing,
right,
just by going through downtown, and I think you have too. When you were with me that one winter.
Sure, yeah.
But I didn't point them out. You know what I mean? So, but yeah.
We got to do that again. That was too much fun.
Yeah, there's not too many people that are Tokyo drifted on Lakeshore Drive, huh?
In a dually.
in a dually, yeah.
In a dually. Good stuff. Well, I'll tell you what, it's been a lot of fun. So for those of you who don't know, Coach decided this week during vacation he was going to forward the shop phone to me for the week. And then that way I could help people that want to do phone orders or have questions and things like that. And some things, there's a lot of people use the website, which is a good thing. That means the business is efficient. That's a good thing. You want that. But there still is a good place to have a person answering the phone. And so I will tell you, we've had lots of happy customers. We had one guy call in just to say, how much he appreciated the bolt-in sprag install video. And, he just called in to express his gratitude for that. We had guys that said, yeah, man, we love our trans brake. We had lots of those kind of calls, which is cool, which is really cool. But I'll tell you a couple of my favorite outliers from that. If one guy calls, and I'm not, giving any name. He said, can you send somebody out here to look at a gate? And I thought, like a shifter gate, right? Like a gate on a shifter. And he said, no, a gate. Like I have this latch that doesn't work. And it turns out that the number he called, which is like a back line at the shop, used to belong to a fence company 20 some years ago. And anyway, I don't know he must have gotten this from some ancient Google listing or something. And I told him, I said, well, unfortunately, I don't know any fence contractors around there, but I wished him luck. And he was very nice. And then my favorite call was actually just a few hours ago. It was my favorite one of the whole time. And it was a guy, and he spoke English as a second language. Nice guy. And he said the video that you guys did on how to get your lawnmower started. I thought, I have no idea what this video would be. And apparently, a CRT customer somewhere has a banner that has CRT's number on it or something in his small engine shop. And so he had made a video of getting a mower started, and this guy couldn't figure it out, but he called the number on the banner or whatever it was he saw. So I told him, I said, well, no, we build transmissions here and sell valve bodies and parts. But I said, I'll tell you what, I'll try to help you troubleshoot your mower. So this guy had like a push mower, like a 5 horsepower push mower. And we worked through, and I helped him work through checking his spark and using some starting fluid. And we tried to help him get some troubleshooting. And then I gave him some stuff to go on, and then I had to take another call. So,
wow, that's funny.
He's a nice guy, but he was calling completely the wrong place. I really, if I could have gotten a little more, I was hoping he could send me the video, but I could tell that wasn't going to happen. But that was a fun.
Someone had my banner in the background. Is that what you said?
That's what I gathered. Somebody had your banner up somewhere, and they had like a small engine video, and he saw the number on that.
Oh, you know who that is?
Who's that?
That's Frostbite. He owns a snowblower, lawnmower, weed whacker store.
That's it. That's who it would be. Yep. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we got a call for Frostbite, and if Frostbite needs this guy's number, I can get him in contact. I can do it. No problem. That was probably my favorite call. And he was a nice guy. I still tried to help him out.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's funny.
Yeah. So anyway, but it's been an interesting week. Been a lot of fun. And a lot of the customers call in had some really cool stuff. Oh, my gosh. Yeah. Several 426 Hemi cars and lots of cool stuff calling in.
Off the top of your head, John, could you rattle off the customers from the different states that you spoke to?
Oh, goodness. Everywhere. We had, every corner of the country. We had Florida, we had Texas, we had California, all kinds of them, of course, in Indiana, Ohio, Michigan, everywhere. New England. We had one from Virginia just before the phones stopped ringing today. Wyoming, Utah, everywhere. All over the country and Canada.
I get a lot of calls from Virginia.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, from everywhere.
That's a big Mopar state.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say that probably number one, other if we exclude the Chicago area, I would say number one was probably Michigan.
Yeah, I would say Ohio would be number one.
Ohio and Michigan were
Yeah.
probably
Well, Michigan, because it's got, Detroit.
yeah, yeah,
Okay. But Ohio
yeah.
has more drag strips in that state than any other state in the union.
Definitely the top three
Yeah.
were well, Illinois, Ohio, Michigan, Pennsylvania, a lot from
Yeah.
there. Indiana, of course. But it was great. Dallas said, I hated phone calls from the mega time wasters. I was running the AHRA, people with unrealistic expectations of opening tracks in New York City, California, Oregon, Pennsylvania. They would go on and on. I will tell you, it was a good experience taking the phone for CRT. Lots of great people called in. And it's really good when somebody has some little thing that we can just resolve so simply, and it helps make their day. And that was always a good thing.
Well, you probably do a better job at that part of the gig at CRT than I do, even when I'm there. And I know I catch a little bit of slack or sometimes being grumpy and all that. But when you're doing, and I shouldn't be, people, are like, hey, you shouldn't be doing that. But it sometimes it's hard not to, because you want to help someone, but a lot of times they don't elaborate. They don't
Right.
get right to the point. I don't need to. So where you come into play, when I was thinking about having someone answer the phone, I'm like, who do I know that's knowledgeable of the product? Who do I know that's nicer than me? and can talk to customers better than I can. And it just popped in my head.
Well,
so
it was a good experience. I hope I did it justice. So I've got about 15 pages of line items of orders and callbacks. And a lot of those are going to convert to orders, but they need something from you, whether it's a stop or something special that has to be done to fix it. A couple of them are fixing orders. A couple of them are checking on orders, but it's going to be organized, and you're just going to be able to start going through it, but it's going to be fruitful for your business.
Right. Yeah. Well, I can't tell you how much I appreciate that you stepping up to the plate like that for me.
I appreciate the opportunity.
And I knew you would enjoy it though too. There's not too many people that enjoy the business end of, or even just building transmissions. I can tell, like, I share a lot of stuff with you that I don't share with other people. Like if I did something different, like, oh, here's the very first 46 RE second gear launch trans brake.
I love it.
Yeah, I know you do.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of neat to share that with someone who has the same, I don't know, enthusiasm for that for transmissions and whatnot.
I love it. And some of these calls, there were varying tech questions. Some of them were some really esoteric deep dive stuff. We had a guy call about the E4OD trans brake today, and I said, listen, I got a few little things I know about it, but I'm telling you, you need to talk with Cope, but he's going to order one. He is ready.
Okay.
So that's coming.
Yeah.
But you got lots of good stuff coming. Andrew Nelson's got a question for 1,400 horsepower at the crank mod motor. What Ford trans? Question mark. I'm leaning on adapting a TH400 with an Ultra Bell. We own many TH400s and many parts. We don't know what budget-friendly Ford transmission options exist. What would you say to that?
As a 3-speed, is he strictly talking 3 speeds, or is he talking 4 speeds for like a drag and drive? If it's a 3-speed and he's already got Ultra Bells and Turbo 400s, because that transmission is used by so many different people in the GM world, in the Chrysler world, and in the Ford world, it's very affordable. It's like anything. Once you get enough of those out there, they become affordable. And for a 3-speed, that probably is a good option. Now, if he wanted a Ford option, depending on what kind of chassis he has, because an E4OD is a very, very large transmission. So And that's probably, I would say, Ford's fastest transmission, even faster than the C6, just because there's diesels out there making 2,000 horsepower.
Well, yeah, 1,400 horsepower. That big might be a big transmission, but 1,400 horsepower is going to need that.
I was afraid to do a C6 at that much horsepower, but the 400, man, that's a very good. It's become the race trans. It surpassed the Power Glide. Okay, the Power Glide was the race trans to go to. It worked good in dragsters and open cars and door cars, but the 400, especially now that you can get a 400 2-speed, that is the go-to trans.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
John Cope is a people person. He just needs them to enjoy having the reverse bands applied, Dean Stevenson says.
Like we talked about on the phone today, John, or yesterday, if all I did was sit at the phone and take care of customers, you would be thinking, oh my God, John's the happiest person in the world. But when you're taking orders, taking website orders, keeping all your employees busy, building valve bodies, building transmissions, ordering parts, machining oil pans, making sure you're assembling planetaries, there's just so much that I have on my plate. It's hard not to be a crab ass. So anybody out there that has seen my grumpy side, I mean, I'm sorry, but I'm not picking on any one person. I'm grumpy to a lot of people.
It's part of your charm.
Yeah.
I got a cool call today. A guy called and he said, "Hey, I've got a transmission here, and it's in some really cool car. I want to say it's like a 65 Hemi Belvedere or something." And he said, "I wonder if it's one of yours." And I asked him, I said, this. I said, "Man, that sure sounds like it." I said, "Everything you described sounds just like one of ours. I bet you money it is." And so he wants to talk with you, but I'm telling you, it's one of yours. And he wants to get the transmission freshened up in it. And I said, "Well, whether it is or not, we can still do it." But that said, I'm pretty sure it is. So, But anyway,
there's a lot of giveaways. The sticker's got to be on the bell housing. It's got to have a red pump, gold bolts.
It has all of that.
And on the driver's side rear boss, it'll be stamped CRT in the build date.
Yeah.
And I've been doing that since the early 90s.
I went through those things with him, and so he hadn't checked that, but he already knows it's got the bolts, it's got the pump, and all that stuff. So anyway, that one will be coming in for freshen up. That'll make a cool video.
Yeah. And you know what? Ever since Joe started, I haven't had time to do videos because when I would get a cool build, I was always in the build room by myself. So I can set my camera and my lights and all that other stuff. Stop, go. But now there's two of us in there. And so he doesn't understand it yet. I keep talking and he'll, in the middle of the video, go, "What'd you say, John?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "No, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the camera." So then when I stop talking to the camera and I shut it off, I go, "Hey, Joe." He goes, "Well, me or the camera?"
Yeah, I'm completely used to it, but I can see how that would be tough if you're not.
Yeah, Joe has been doing transmissions just as long as I have, and he's very knowledgeable and very good. I met Joe when he was 15 and I was 19, and after my father closed his shop, the first place I went to go work was a place in Hammond, Indiana called Master Transmissions. And that's where I met Joe. I'm R&R Transmissions. And I go in their build room, and there's this 15-year-old kid building transmissions. So I walk in there. I'm like, "Hey, what's up? What's your name?" He goes, "Joe." I'm like, "How the hell did a young kid like you get to the bench?" He goes, "Well, my uncle Joe owns the place." I'm like, "Oh, well, yeah, that will do it, right?" So then he worked for Mason at K&M for years and years and years. So I've been seeing him for, let's say, I don't know, the last 13 or 14 years, But Joe just learned how to text.
Ah, okay.
Technically, he's difficult. He can't use the laser machine. He forget going on a computer.
Yeah.
He's sending me texts that belong to his kid. And I'm like, Joe, how could someone that builds transmissions, and he can build a lot more than I can from the late model stuff,
Yeah.
but you can't send a text. So it's actually quite funny. That's really old school right there.
Yeah. That's okay. I had to have a client I had a client send me a link from Facebook on a property they wanted to see. Well, I can't get in contact with the seller that way. So I had our friend Unfinished Project do it for me. So he did it, and I showed that property today.
Mm-hmm.
So, Facebook is a black hole of mystery to me. I'm not on it. And so he helped me with that one. So
that's good. Yeah.
Sometimes people got to have the assist on things like that.
Yeah.
Does this text have to be confusing as heck? I took the texting,
Yeah. I mean, he's getting it, it's just, so when I'm in the room filming, he doesn't catch what I'm doing. So I just don't do it when he's there. And usually, when I make build videos, I mean, I do got that Aruba one done. I did the one half, and I'm going to tear down the Aruba 904.
Right.
And then I'm going to do the assembly next week because I'll be back there. And I told him that I wasn't going to be able to put it back together until I get back from vacation. And he was okay with that.
Yeah. I had that guy with the Superstock car. He asked me, he said, do you get transmissions, from a lot of different places? I said, well, we got one in from Aruba here a couple of weeks ago. He's like, really? I said, yeah. So I thought that was really cool.
A lot of people from Australia too, they will fly in, and I've seen this many times. They'll go to Indy Cylinder Head, they'll go to CRT, then they'll go up to Mancini, and then maybe Muscle Motors or something. They'll make this one big circle.
Yep.
Get their headers, get their motor, get their trans, all the stuff. Then they put it on a container, ship it back, and then jump back on the plane.
Yeah. Sounds like
that happened quite a few times.
That's cool.
Yeah. Quite a few times.
Well, I'm glad he's working out for you, so I'm really happy for you.
He is, and that'll probably be his last job.
He's 57.
True, and he's still got a lot in him. As far as once you get closer to 60, then you think a little bit more about retirement. So
I can't.
And you know what? I didn't do nothing Tuesday. This Tuesday, and I'm moping around the house. I already did all my yard work. I did my honey-do list. All the trucks were clean. I folded my clothes and put them in my dresser, and I had nothing to do. And I told Elaine, I go, if this is what Tirement's going to be like, I am not going to retire till I croak.
Yeah. Well, you just want to trade out as much bad busy for good busy as you can and want. That's mostly what people I know do with retirement is they try to scrub off as much bad busy as they can so that they enjoy the things and stay busy with what they enjoy.
Yeah. Yeah. And I try that, but still, you got to take the good with the bad. That's just the way life is, But hopefully as time goes on, it gets better good than bad,
Tell you what, it's been pretty fun taking calls this week. I mean, a lot of the stuff that people work on, there's a lot of cool stuff people are working on out there. All kinds of neat stuff. I've had customers call with diesel trucks, restored cars, super stock cars, everything. I had
not
somebody
only
call.
Did I know that you would be good at it, I knew that you would enjoy it at the same time.
I had someone call with a 2013 Kia. And so while it might not be something that we would help them with, at least I can try to help find that guy another resource. So Cope had a referral, and I called him back with that. So
Yeah.
that's the thing. I want everybody to at least do what I can to help them find what they're looking for. Like the guy that's having trouble getting his mower started, all of them.
Yeah,
I
that's
really
the
want
first
people
one.
to
I've never heard that one before.
help how I can.
Actually, I'm going to have to get a hold of Frostbite tonight and let him know
Yeah.
that happened.
I will shoot you the number for this guy and say, hey, this
Okay.
guy called.
Yeah. Yeah.
I knew it had to be one of your customers. It had to be.
Yeah.
Here's a great question. Mohawk wants to know if you've ever replaced that 3-bladed ceiling fan.
No. But I am at the cottage, and I have all 4 blades on this fan. So you'll be happy to know that. And I'm out on the porch, because the air is going on inside, and I just thought it'd be too loud. So, but no, I never fixed it.
Dallas said he retired at 42 and tries to give himself the same motivation and enthusiasm I would an employer. I stay super busy.
Uh-huh.
That he does. Colleen says, kudos for picking me as your replacement. Well, I'm not his replacement. I was just fielding calls for a week. Nobody can replace Cope.
Well, there might be a time, even on a regular week, if you're free.
Yeah.
I could definitely have you put out some fires.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll tell the people in the chat, I've actually kind of done this before.
You have.
Yeah, we've done that a time or two before, and I don't mind doing it. I was telling Cope, I said, in my business, and remember I was telling you this a couple of days ago, I get all the calls, okay? If something's wrong with anything, it could be a title company, it could be a client, it could be customer or client, anything, I'm the one that's got to deal with it because I'm the end of the line. I'm the principal broker.
Yeah.
I deal with it, so. It works out. Dakota wanted to prank call me, but figured I would know it was him. Yes, I would have.
Hey, did that Diesel guy ever call back off my website?
Oh, the one you sent me?
Yeah.
Not that I know of. I did get a possible band overlap problem on a 47 out of a 2002 Ram, and I sent you the notes on that one. But that's something unrelated. It's not your product, but he's just calling because you know all these things. So he'll be on your notes list for Monday.
Okay.
Just Mopar Joe's in the house. Thank you for stopping by, sir. It's like Ghostbusters crossing the streams, Joe. We got Cope in here tonight. Danny Boyd wanted to call in and get a set of intake valves for Detroit. Okay. Yeah, we had some characters, some interesting characters. Lots of good customers and people very happy with with their stuff though. I had people call in and say, yeah, I want to order, and they'll order like a trans brake or something. One guy ordered a drum and a drag spring. He says, yep, I've got 3 or 4 trans brakes, CRT, all of them, and love them. He's ordering another one. I had calls like that. It was really cool.
It's always fun taking good calls that people that are happy. And then when they're not, you try to go out of your way to make them happy.
Yeah, we had a couple tech problem type of calls, which are just going to be, any business is going to have them. But the thing is I can tell you, Cope set time aside to help get these people's problem figured out and give it priority, even when he was off, just because he cares. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
But where we left it is, one guy's like, hey, man, if you need to do this, this is what you can do in the meantime. And Cope will be back Monday. But I got to tell you, leaving it in that position goes a long way with customers to know that you care that their stuff is running. And they really appreciate that.
Well, you really do. And I know sometimes if I'm having a bad day, I'm not the happiest person in the world. But at the end of the day, when I sit down and I, gather my thoughts, and it's like, I remember watching my dad go through the same thing. One of the places that I took my two friends, from school was Dad's first shop on the east side of Chicago. So I go there about once a year just to make sure the building's still there and whatever. So, and then you remember what it was like for Dad when you were a kid, and you would watch him try to really go out of his way to help customers. I think my dad went too far, because there was many a times. Remember the old 350s and 400s had modulator lines?
Mm-hmm.
It would just be a vacuum line to go to the modulator.
Yep.
Thick snow in Chicago would knock the modulator line off.
Oh, yeah.
And then the car wouldn't shift. So he'd say, Johnny, pull it in, make sure the modulator's line's on. Pull it in, up on the rack. Nope, the snow knocked it off, Dad. Put a new one on there, and then let it go. And then he wouldn't charge the customers for it. I'm like, Pops, even if you just charge them a double sawbuck, you got to get a little something that they would still be happy. But he was like that. He really did a lot of stuff for the community in Cal City,
For those of you who don't know, if you don't have Cope's catalog, on page 22, on 23, there is an article about Jack Cope pulling out cars in the snow. And he just did it out of the goodness of his heart.
Yeah.
During the blizzard of 78.
All night, and never charged anybody a dime.
Yeah.
He really, I mean, I almost wish that my friends that I haven't known forever, like you and some other ones, that could have met him. He truly was a guy. Everybody loved my dad.
That's cool.
They really did. There's not one bad person out there that could say any, or one bad thing that anybody can say about my father. He definitely was better at it than I was when it come to, he was happy all the time.
Colleen had two irate customers come in and apologize for their behavior. I did not have any irate customers. I did not. Nothing at all.
And the ones that started off a little bit upset, you kind of turned them a little bit, right?
Yeah, I had two of them that weren't upset. Just two of them maybe a little frustrated with something, and I took good notes of what they had. Sometimes it was something I could help them with a little bit to help figure out what they needed to ask you, and then get the notes to you, and then things worked out really well. And so I like for people to be happier at the end of the call than the beginning. If I can do that, I feel like I've done a good job.
Well, I know I told you every day we talk, but I'll say it here again. I really appreciate everything that you did for the shop. So
thank you. It was a good experience. I really enjoyed it. And there's still 2 days left for people in this community before the phones get switched. So if you guys want in this community, you can still order stuff through me. Order your CRT parts. And for everybody who's made an order, who's actually placed an order with me, I'm going to do a drawing for No Name Nationals prize pack per that short. And for people in the community who want to take me up on it for 500 labor to the No Name Nationals, I will build them a 3-speed Chrysler automatic. 904, 998, 999, 727, or a 32 TH if you so want for your neon performance. That would be fine. Or a 488 if you have a Christine or something. We could do that. But you get your parts from Cope exclusively, and your core, or mine if I can source it. There's still 2 more days to get in on that. I think it's a good deal. Of course, we can deliver it at No Name Nationals, but we can get it to you before then, possibly too. So just throwing that out there. No, I did not, Dakota. I did not accidentally send you 47 CRT shirts. No, I did not. No, but it was a lot of fun. It's really good. I'll tell you what, it gives me a whole new level of respect for what Cope does, fielding all of that and working in the shop. Because either of those is a full-time job, and doing both at the same time would be wild.
Yeah, it is. And I think after all these years in business, I think I finally got the best crew I can. You know, if I can get me a good R&R guy mechanic, who knows? I would probably even get the cornet done and some other stuff on top of, doing trucks and stuff. So we'll see.
It's running smoothly over there.
It is. It is.
On Harding.
Yeah, it really is. So I basically do all the valve bodies, and I might get one transmission done a week, but Joe knocks out just about all the transmissions. So, and like I said, I'm 61, he's 57, 56. He was actually building before I was. So when I met him, guess what he was building? He was building a 904. He was building a 904 for his uncle at 15 years old with no help. He was there all by himself. So
excellent. I love it.
And he loves what he does. He loves transmissions, and that's the key is they say if you love what you do, never work a day in your life, which is kind of not true, but I get it.
Speedometer pinions. You gotta get it right, Dallas. And we did have some speedometer pinion orders. Yes, we did. And then I would figure them up for the guy when the guy needed a 34 tooth. So it was fun. We had some huge orders and some little orders. And, I'm not there to upsell people, but they would ask me, hey, what would you put with this? And so if they were doing, a CRT shift pack shift kit, I'm like, well, if you have the transmission out, it's a really good time to upgrade to low reverse servo. And if you're going to turn up that pressure, it's a good time to add a billet strut. And obviously, if you're dropping the pan anytime, I said, I like a deep pan on anything except a rock crawler or, a show car, maybe, right? So.
Stud kits are nice, too.
What's that?
Stud kits are nice, too.
Yep. I've told people that in my video I made. I said, once you have a studded transmission pan rail, you're never going to want to go back to bolts. It is so much better. You just put your gasket on there, and Cope always ships the gaskets flat. So you guys who have had the rolled up gasket like Fram used to do, that is for the birds. I hate it. Are flat. You have a studded pan rail, lay that on the pan, stick it up there, and just start those flange face nuts. It's just so much easier. Yeah, Don has the studded pan rail and really likes it. He says thumbs up on the studs. Yep, definitely. Although I have gold bolts on the van. But I do certainly plan to stud the 46 RE. I have 46 RE, but it has an output shaft with the threads for the speedometer pinion. So that's a score.
Mm-hmm.
Any of you guys have any questions for the last few minutes here while we got Cope cornered? Main Street Mopar wants to know if his truck will pick up the front wheels of that W2 headed 318. Of course, I have to get it together first. That would be a big part of making that happen. While these guys are all weird hour and over here in the chat. Tony says, I prefer the brown fiber gaskets, but you can't buy them at the regular parts store. I just got one of those in the kit. If you've not seen it,
gaskets work the best with aluminum oil pans. They never leak.
Yeah, I love the aluminum oil pans. Yeah, I did an unboxing video on the parts I have for this 727 I'm doing. If you guys haven't seen that, it's not necessarily what every transmission needs, but it shows you what I'm putting in this one. And it'll give you a good idea. I even put what all that cost down there because the one on Cat Dawn English had asked. But you can go check that out if you want to. Just Mopar Joe asks, have you mentioned any new bounties or No Name Nationals plans? I got here late. Well, funny you mentioned that. Just Mopar Joe, you can tell them about the bounty. You're the one who should post that up. You're here at just the right time for that. Dougster says, weird hours, what I do best. Well, wrong live for that. We have 10 minutes left. If you guys have any, actually we have 12 because I was 2 minutes late starting. So got 12 minutes. If you guys have any questions about the cottage, the satellite office of CRT on the lake, the cottage, you have any questions for Cope? Any questions about the 95th Street Bridge? Calumet Fisheries? What pontoon boat life is like?
Oh, geez.
How are you liking that boat?
Huh?
How are you liking the new boat?
Well, it's 2 years old now, but
Yep.
it's I thought I wouldn't like it because I was the speedboat guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I like going fast in a speedboat. Even though the last two boats I had were V6s, they would still go 35 miles an hour, and you can zip around and turn and get the bow and the stern high up in the air. I'm like, I'm not gonna like a pontoon boat, but boy, was I wrong. And it's you can fit more people on there, and it's more relaxing. This one does have 150 horsepower on it, so it will go like 25, 26. But no, I love it. I really do.
Yeah.
I guess I'm
like
turning
pontoon
into,
boats. I think they're cool.
I guess I'm turning into an old man.
I like the pontoon boat. That is my style. I've only driven one boat ever, and it was one that had the two jet propulsion Ski-Doo motors on the back.
Oh, okay.
Handles like a sea body, if you ask me. Okay. Joe puts it up in the chat. He says, Truth be told, pediatric dentistry has put up $1,000 to anyone who can beat me in a 2 out of 3 bracket race on Saturday. No delay boxes. So in addition to our regular Friday bracket that Just Mopar Joe is the 2-time and defending champion of, he is willing to have a 2 out of 3 bracket race against an opponent, $1,000 to beat him in a 2 out of 3 bracket race on Saturday. No delay boxes. How about that?
So
a bounty has been put up.
Is that Joe's gonna have to race a whole bunch of people that want that $1,000?
He said that's got to be the winner of the Friday bracket, just like last year.
Oh, so, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What if he wins the Friday bracket?
Then it's safe, unless he tells me otherwise. That's the way it was last year. And
he's gonna race himself.
So the bonus was safe because he won it last year. Joe is the only 2-time winner of the No Name Nationals Friday bracket. Our prestigious Friday bracket.
You do know that Mopar Joe is the only person in the world, as of now, that has an SFI case and bell housing for a Mopar. He's the only one.
And he does.
Also, this will be the first time I'm announcing this. The first batch has been shipped. It should be there Tuesday or Wednesday at the shop of the cases and housings.
We're going to have availability for SFI Mopar cases. 727 SFI cases. I don't think people can get those anywhere else right now, can they?
Nope.
No, I don't think so.
You can get the 48s at some diesel places, but not the 727s.
Mohawk wants to know if Joe's going to do another roll call. I helped Joe with the roll call last year. That was a fun way to do it, Joe. If you want to do it again that way this year, just let me know. We can do it. That was fun. Joe says, I got to beat the iguanas and lagunas on site 2 this year. Heads up on a 500 tree. Levi says, so we're just strumming past the revenge race. Levi's best at the No Name Nationals is a 585, but I think he can certainly push that a little lower. Indirect connection. Jason slid in here a little bit ago. Hello, sir.
Jason, how's it going, brother?
He showed up to meet me for lunch last week in a red tanker truck. And I said, this is like the modern version of the movie Duel. Levi says, our race will have the best wager all weekend. I haven't discussed it with Joe yet, but it's good. Joe says, roll call for sure. Loved last year's roll call. It saved me so many emails and time. Showed up the real deal people who showed up. Yep, sounds good to me. You want to do it that way again, Joe? Ride around and hit them up. That's how Joe and I did it last year is we rode on the golf cart and just hit up all the Mopar people in the pits. That was a good way to do it. It turned out great. Indirect connection, Jason says hi. Anybody else have anything for Cope? He's breaking away from his vacation to come hang out with us tonight. And believe it or not, it was his idea. But I'm glad he's here. This is great. Glad to have him.
How did you work that out, Wilborn?
I'm glad to have him on. You know, he's always welcome.
I'm very shy.
Anybody have anything else? We've got 4.5 minutes left before we call it the weekend.
All right, here's one for you. If anybody can guess the song that you hate, I'll throw them a T-shirt right now. Boom, go. You got 4 minutes.
And there's plenty I hate, but you got to guess the song, my least favorite song. And Cope doesn't know what it is either. He wants to know what it is.
What was the one that I guessed? And I made a short with that music?
Oh, yeah. So Cope had guessed Men Without Hats, the safety dance.
Yeah, that's what it was.
He told me that. I said, he sent me some video. He was milling a case for an Ultra Bell. And I said, I dare you to make a short of that with the safety dance. So he did.
And you know the reason why I picked that song, John, is because I hate it.
Yeah, I know. That's why I dared you to do it. He did. It was great. It was great. Not Freebird. No. One of these days, somebody's going to get it. Somebody's going to get it, and it could be years from now. Somebody will get it.
Now, I know you don't give out you're not giving out no hints, and that's great.
No.
But it is a song that most people would know.
This is not some obscure song. No, it's not
Right.
so obscure no one can get it.
Okay. All right. It's been on the top 100 Billboard then, at least?
This is not some, song that was played 700 years ago and recorded on a Dead Sea Scroll that nobody could get. No, it is nothing like that.
All right.
Yeah, Tony liked that. It was. I laughed so hard. I watched it 3 or 4 times. I laughed so hard that came up because it's just him and the case, and you hear the music. Oh, White Stripes, no. Right Said Fred, I hate that one, but that's not it. Sweet Caroline, no. Dr. Go just got home from the Iowa Car Show late. Cool Men at Work, no. No. Danny Boyd says you can't stop a woman, she's out of control. I don't know if that's a song, but you can't tell a woman to calm down. I know that. I don't know if that's a song or not, Race for Race, so clearly that's not it. Oh my gosh, Dallas. No, that's not it, but that's one I would just as soon not remember it existed. Let's see. Lars says, I'm extra late, but hope everyone had a good week and has a good weekend. You too, Lars. Thank you for swinging by.
Oh, Lars, I got to go get the papers.
Yeah, right. Mohawk says strawberry wine. Not a bad guess, but that's not it. One of these years, somebody's going to get it. I'm telling you, this can't go unsolved forever. Somebody's going to get it. Anything by Michael Jackson? Well, I will tell you, without giving hints, you cannot be that broad. Talking about songs, so you can't just say artist. That will be like a sneaky way to get a hint, so I won't confirm or deny anything that comes in like that. Can we get a decade or genre? No, you cannot. Material Girl by Madonna? No. Dawn's done guessing. Yep. I'm telling you, people are going to be guessed out, but one of these years it's going to flow through here. She Thinks by Tractor Sexy. That's a terrible song, but no.
Hey, every once in a while, do you guys play songs at No Name Nationals while oil downs or stuff like that, or no?
Sometimes, but we try not to get too heavy on that because people are filming, and a lot of people don't want to have copyright.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
But usually there's music playing before the days of the event. Usually there is. People put it on up in the tower. Busted Radio Chris, hello. Thank you for coming by. Good to see you. I told Chris I'd love to do him a high gear only 727 for his burnout car. Because he's making over 1,000 horsepower, that blower car, and all that uses high gear. And so you could take the sprag out and everything. I think it'd be really cool to try that. A high gear only 727. I think it'd be tougher.
You could weld up the planetaries like you do in a posi rear end, because it's all spinning as one.
There's a lot of things you could do. I've thought this through. There's a lot of neat things you could do in there. He says he's game. I think it'd be fun to try. I think it'd be more durable. There'd be no sprag, right? There'd be no sprag. There'd be no second gear servo, band, strut. There's a lot of things you'd eliminate that could be broken.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're at our time, so I'm not going to keep Cope sequestered any longer, but want to thank you for showing up. Appreciate you coming by on your vacation, sir.
Thank you for what you've done for me, John. I really appreciate all that.
I appreciate you. Yeah, there's a lot of good guesses, but nobody's gotten it. Well, with that, guys, thank you for coming out tonight. Don't forget to get your Tech Talk Live on Wednesday with Professor P in Dallas on the Slant Daily Garage channel. We will be back here again. Well, I'll be back here again. Cope is always welcome, but I'll be back here again on next Friday when the countdown will be 69 days to go. Should be 10 Saturdays left. So if you still need to get subs or cars done, turn it up. And with that, you guys have a great weekend. Take care. We are out.